Hello, friends, and welcome to Rise Up in Real Estate, where we are on a quest. We are looking for the extra in the ordinary. And I'm Tad Fulford, and I will be your host on this journey where we will take an honest look at what makes ordinary people extraordinary. Exactly how can we be extra in our personal and our professional lives? In this season of the Rise Up in Real Estate adventure, there will be a monthly rhythm, meaning each month we will have 4 unique episodes. In one episode, we'll tackle a pressing current real estate industry thought. In another, we will chat with a local difference maker in the real estate space. For our 3rd episode, we will host a respected national thought leader. And finally, we will have a 4th bonus and surprise episode. And in each episode, we will be digging into not only what those people think, but who those people are. Along the way, it's my hope that you'll laugh some, you'll be challenged some, you will get inspired some, and if we are lucky, maybe even figure out a way or two you can rise up in your own life and be the best human that you can be. So the challenge is, let's all rise up. Hello, we're Rise Up in Real Estate. This is Tad, and I have got a very special guest, a very special friend that's here with me today. This is going to be a great 30-minute episode with my friend, Mr. Jeremy Blanton. Jeremy, the Blanton name is a well-known name around town. You've been in real estate for a while, but I wanted to just talk to you a little bit for the next little bit of time about your business, your life. I appreciate more than anything you being here. Thank you for taking your time. I can't imagine how busy you are as a realtor in this crazy market.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but thank you for being here. And the reason that I brought you here was something different than we'll start with. We'll get to your YouTube sensation, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But tell me a little bit about who you are. Where were you born? Tell me about your family. Let's talk a little bit about who Jeremy is.
Sure. So first off, thanks for having me here. I grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania, about an hour and a half outside of Philadelphia.
Eagles fan?
I am a diehard Eagles fan, even in the sad days right now.
They say they're going to have the best offense in the NFL this year. That's what they say.
We might. I don't know about all that, but I'm hopeful.
You're a fan.
I'm more hopeful than I was last year. We'll put it that way.
You're a fan. I love that.
But I grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania, and it was interesting. I was in a high school, same school district my whole life, and my parents told me when I was a senior in high school, hey, guess what? We're getting ready to move. We're moving to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I went, no, we're not doing that right now. This is my senior year. And so we actually bought our home down here. My dad came down, lived here for a while, and got the house set up. I stayed in Pennsylvania. Our house up there sold. It was quite interesting. For a while, we had an air mattress, my mother and I each, and we borrowed a sofa from a friend who owned a furniture store and a TV that sat on a TV tray. And that was all the furniture in the home for us for several weeks. And then the house closed and we moved in with my grandparents. I graduated high school on a Friday, had a party on Saturday, and Sunday I was in Myrtle Beach.
So they at least let you live out your senior year.
Yes.
By one day.
Yes.
And then pack up and move down. What did you think about Myrtle Beach when you first came? Because this is interesting. This is what you do with clients now every day, is try to encourage them to do this very thing that you did. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, back then technology wasn't where it is now.
Right.
And so, I didn't have the ability to text friends. Facebook wasn't around. We had AOL Instant Messenger and dial-up internet. And so, if I could get on the phone line long enough in the house to connect, I could maybe have a chat with some of my friends. But, it took a while to build a new, network of friends and people that I was around. Cause I went to school at Coastal. I'm a Coastal Carolina graduate. But I lived at home. So I would literally drive to school, go to class, come out of class, go home. Go to school the next day, come home, go to work. And where did I work? I worked at my dad's store. We owned a basket store back in the day. It was weird.
No way.
But we owned baskets and sold them. And literally
I would go. We need a few baskets. We need a few baskets right now. Do you still have that store?
No. We got rid of all of that stuff. But that's literally what I did for a while, and it was just miserable. And then once I started to get into college and starting to figure out what I wanted to do, my degree is in resort tourism management.
Right.
So I could walk into any restaurant, any hotel here on the beach and apply for a general manager job.
Right.
But along with that, I had to do some internships.
Okay.
And I learned in the restaurant industry, I did not like it.
Okay.
I liked having my Sundays free to be able to go to church, have a day off, do those things.
Right.
And so that wasn't working well. And doing these internships in the restaurants were becoming frustrating. And as I was getting ready to do my last two, which one was in marketing and one was in management,
Okay.
I said to my father, "Hey, Dad, don't you want me to be your marketing manager?" He said,
At the basket store?
No.
Oh, he was back in real estate.
He had gotten into real
Okay.
estate during this time, and he needed some help. He was doing pretty well with it. And my father, he was old school. He would love to get on the phone and talk to you. But when it came to marketing and all that stuff, and the internet's coming around at this time and websites, he didn't have a clue of any of it.
Right.
And so I said, "Why don't I come be your marketing person?" And so I started doing that for him, got my college credit. Then I was his manager of his real estate team, which was himself and me.
What year was that? Do you remember?
2002.
Okay, so we're talking 20 years ago.
Yep. I started the week before 9/11. So I started in 2001. And so I did his managing, which was the team of me, him, and my mother.
Okay.
And I didn't really do much managing, but we checked that box off with the internship and had it done. And, as I graduated college, I went, okay, what do I want to do? I don't want to go to restaurants. I don't want to go to hotels. I can do real estate where I have the ability to have unlimited income potential.
Yeah.
And I can dictate, which I say kind of funny and tongue in cheek, my schedule all the time.
Right. That's interesting. I just did a video on that today where you don't really, the flexibility puts a lot of people out of business, actually.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this real estate thing for 20 years. Tell me, before we hop into real estate, and you guys, the listeners, you want to pay attention because this is a fascinating story when we get into the technology part of it and how he uses it, how you use video in his business and stuff. That's what you'll want to hear. Tell me, when did you meet Catherine, your lovely wife, Catherine?
So I met her in 2005.
Okay.
And we met through the internet.
Okay. Wow. Back then?
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. It was a blog site. I do a lot of blogging back in the day and website things. And it was kind of like a MySpace page, but it was called Zanga. And you could go in there and you could write your thoughts out in what was a blog back then. And people could come in and read it and comment and rate it and do everything with it.
No way.
And I had gone to church that morning and had this whole deep epiphany of the message that morning that I had come home and poured my heart out in this long blog, basically.
Nice.
And I wrote this out. And at the same time, she was living in Georgia and had found it because she was stalking her ex, who was friends with a girl that I was kind of friends with. And she ended up at my site, webpage, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And so she read through this whole thing and said, "Good job." And you could rate on this website the article, either giving it 0 stars, 1 star, or 2. And she gave it 1 star. And it just, with my personality, bothered me. I'm like, who is this person? I don't even know who she is. And she's here just leaving this 1 star. What in the world is this about? And, over time, we started commenting back and forth, which then led to, we got things serious and we went to AOL Instant Messenger, AIM for the win. And we went from that to talking on the phone. And before long, we had our romantic first date in Florence, where we met up, which, by the way, in Florence, there's not a whole lot of things to do if you're not familiar with the city.
That was pre-Buc-ee's, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Go by Buc-ee's.
Definite. We met at the Ruby Tuesdays. It was a Ruby Tuesdays and Cracker Barrel, I think, that are side by side. And we met in the parking lot there. We drove around, ended up going to Books A Million, which I'm not a big book reader.
Right.
And so she's like, "What's your favorite book?" And I'm like, I don't know. And so the only one that came to mind was a children's story that my father read at my grandmother's funeral called "I Love You Forever."
Right.
And it goes through this whole story about how the mother reads to the baby, and then as the baby gets older, he reads to his mother as she's dying. And so, of course, she's like, "Oh, well, let's read it." And so we read this in the middle of the store, have her crying. Yeah, it was interesting.
That's pretty amazing.
Yep, but it was good. It worked. I got the first kiss on that date.
Uh-oh.
It was right by the Ruby Tuesdays dumpster outside. It was amazing. It was a smell we will never forget.
That's there's so many dimensions of that story that I want to go into. Like, I can't believe you, of all people, found your wife, your forever person, on the internet. That's just so That's just so perfect for you. I mean, no wonder. Why did she give you a 1 star? She didn't agree with what you said, or
no? She just said, "Well, I didn't know you, so I didn't want to give you a 2 stars to start."
Right.
And I'm just like, really?
And she's such a nice, loving person. Like to start on the first date with, the first interaction. That's about the same kind of first impression I made on my wife too. With 1 star was about where I went. So you met her. You guys met in 2005, and now you have a wonderful looking family. Tallest son I've ever seen. You've got beautiful children. Tell us a little bit about how old are your children, how many you have?
Yeah, so I have 3 kids now. My oldest is Isabel, who's going to high school this year, so I now have a high schooler.
Man,
yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yep. And then Jeremiah is going to middle school. He is now 5'7.5" as a 6th grader, wearing a size 11 shoe. People see him and think he's a 16 or 17-year-old right now. And then I have Miriam, who is she's going to be 8 here in a few weeks. And they're very excited today to go out, and hopefully the girls are getting their ears pierced for a big adventure today.
Yeah, you got lucky that I asked you to do this, so you don't have to be.
Yeah, I don't do well with that kind of stuff. So thank you, Catherine.
Yeah, you're so welcome for that detour. So your son is tall. How tall are you, Jeremy?
I'm about 5'7", so he's about a half inch taller than me now.
That's amazing, and good gracious, he's growing so much.
Not even 12.
Yeah. So you have been in real estate. Started out. This is such an interesting story because I know how good you are in real estate. I watch how effective you've always been. I remember telling people you speak all over the country to people about the things that we're getting ready to talk about. But the thing that I appreciate most about you is who you are as a man, aside from all of that. Like, I really don't think of you as, and this is no offense, because I like you as a family man and as a chef and all the other things, a bass player at your church. Tell me about the other dimensions of Jeremy. How long have you been playing guitar?
So I'm trying to think, it's probably been about 20 years or so as well. And the way I got into that is growing up all through high school and middle school. I played in the band. I played in orchestra.
Okay.
I always was involved in music. I wasn't much for the sporting things. After Little League, getting my nose broken by a baseball, that kind of ended the baseball career a little bit. I was too hesitant to get in the batter's box again. So I did music. And I played the violin all through middle school, all through high school. And when you take a bass, it's the same 4 strings.
Right.
And so I was able to basically move from 1 on my shoulder to 1 in my arms, and basically self-taught myself to play bass at that point. And I've been doing it ever since. And it's fun. Gives me something to do other than just real estate and fatherhood.
And you guys you play the bass at a local church here, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I play over at Beach Church, and it's awesome because now I'm in a place where I don't have to play every week, which makes it more fun because it's not like, I got to get up again this week at this time and do it. And people don't realize the sacrifice that goes into doing that as a volunteer. I mean, I'm up at 5:30 to 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and until we get home, it's 1 o'clock or later.
Yeah. That's interesting that you do that at a local church. So I'm hoping through this podcast, I'm hoping that people will connect. Like, I hope if you're sitting in the audience at Beach Church, you see Jeremy up there, you'll go up and get to meet him, get to know him as a person. And same thing, if you're an Eagles fan and you want another Eagles fan to hang out with, reach out. I'll put all of Jeremy's credentials in the show notes, along with anything else he mentions that's worth putting down there, so you can reach out and contact him. You also do a little bit of cooking.
I do, and a lot of that comes from my internships that I did before getting in real estate. I did a front of the house and a back of the house internship. So, I basically started in a restaurant as not knowing much of anything about restaurant life. I knew how to cook. My dad taught me growing up. I'd help cook meals and stuff at the house.
Right.
And my dad was always into entertaining. So I was always helping to make large quantities for 30, 50, 100 people out of our house. So when I started in the restaurant business, nobody wanted to hire me at first because they're like, you don't know this thing. You don't know how to do it. We can't hire you. And I finally got somebody who said, we'll put you in as a prep cook and see how things go. And within weeks of being the prep cook, I was upgraded to the pantry cook. And for weeks from that, I was upgraded to being the broil cook. And then I was the fry cook. Then I was the saute cook. And before long, I was running the whole kitchen, basically.
Right.
And they basically just put me on the schedule as a, quote, floater, that wherever there was an issue, I would run to that station to help bail them out and get the kitchen back running where it needed to be. And basically ran the kitchen without a kitchen manager title attached to it.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a while, which is where I learned a lot of the cooking things. Yes, I like my toys in the backyard.
Right.
I've got the smoker, I've got the Blackstone, I've got the grill, and we enjoy cooking on them and using those things. And it's fun to have people over to our house and be like, "Hey, what do you want? You want hibachi tonight? Okay. You want to grill this? Okay, we can do that. You want something smoked? No problem." And it's funny, I know you and we've had a lot of conversations over the years where I get the infamous Tad text. "So I'm getting ready to do a butt. How do I do this? What temperature should I cook my ribs at? How should I make this chicken?" And so it's fun. And, one of the things that I really enjoyed doing for a while, which COVID kind of brought to an end, and hopefully in the next, year or two, as things calm down a little bit again, we'll be able to get back to doing some more fundraisers and smoking a whole bunch of meat and having fundraisers here for CMN, which is always fun as well.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting that I use you like YouTube? That's funny. And ironically, we're going to talk about YouTube, but yesterday I actually did go to YouTube to find out how to do what I was cooking yesterday, but it's probably because I just didn't think of you, because I've sent you thousands of texts over the years on how do you do. What's your favorite thing to cook? If I said I'm going to come over, you cook your favorite thing, what is it? Still smash burger?
No, those are good. If I'm making my absolute favorite, it would probably be what I had for my birthday, which was a USDA prime steak.
Okay.
Ribeye.
Yeah.
I like the ribeye steaks, medium rare. And then I made a garlic butter poached crab claws that were over the top of it. They were phenomenal. A lot of it when you're making a good steak comes down to the seasonings that you use. So I bought recently some really high-end flake salt.
Right.
That some of them are like the size of a nickel.
Yeah.
It's these big flakes that you can put over your steaks, and it's awesome.
Nice. And how do you cook the steak? You do it on the grill?
Those go on the Weber. Yep.
On the Weber. On charcoal?
No, it's a gas.
Gas, okay.
I like easy. Charcoal's nice and all that, but it's when you have when you have kids, you need something that you can go out, push a button. Hey, It's hot. Throw it on. Be done. Turn it off. Okay, we're done.
Yes, you'll be proud of me because I did this without calling you. I cooked a tomahawk ribeye yesterday, and I did look it up online. Anytime you spend $50 or $60 on a piece of meat, you're like, I got to do this the right way. So I actually cooked it in the big green egg, and I hadn't done this before, but I did reverse searing, which was I got the meat off, let it rest for 15 minutes, and I closed the grill, and it got to 700 degrees. I couldn't believe how fast it went from 250 to 700. And then I did it what they call cowboy style, where you just throw it down in the coals and flip it over in a minute. Man, it was so good. My family, I've never seen the kids clean the plates like that. And you told me that's the way your family is. Like they beg for your wings. Because you told me you do a ranch. I think you taught me how to do, I've done Parmesan garlic.
Yeah.
Garlic parm wings, but you did a ranch wing that you said was phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's not difficult.
Simple.
Butter, you melt some butter, throw some ranch powder in it, and the kids eat them up. They love it.
That's great. So you heard that first here on this podcast.
Air fryer, man. The air fryers are the way to go when it comes to the wings now, because my kids like them real crispy, and so we can get them good and crispy.
That's it. So easy. Wow. Cooking's getting so much easier in life. If you live or own property along the coast of South Carolina, you probably need insurance. We Insure Advocates is a locally owned independent agency with industry-leading service support. Our team of customer-centric agents can explain your coverage options and help you craft an insurance program that fits your needs and budget. Data-driven for better value, people-led for better service. That's the difference of we. For all of your property insurance needs, please find us at weinsureadvocates.com or call us at 843-491-6990. So let's the elephant in the room is, if you know Jeremy, we've talked a little bit about his personal self, but he's done some things that, and this is the interesting thing to me, is that you've done some things with your business that a lot of people pretend to do and act like they're going to do, or talk about they're going to do it. Like, you've been one of the most consistent, maybe the most consistent person I know with video over the years. So I want you to talk to me a little bit about, but I feel like in the last 18 months, 24 months, it's kind of changed for you. Talk a little bit about that for me.
So, well, to get to that, I have to kind of take a step back.
Let's do that.
So, my real estate business kind of came crashing down when the whole market did.
Right.
And at that time, I needed to figure something out to do. And you mentioned a little bit about speaking and traveling, doing that. I traveled the country speaking. I've spoken at just about every big name brokerage that's out there, as well as for NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, many times over the years. And so when you do those things, they would always bring me in to talk about technology things. So I would do a lot of sessions on social media, how to use social media, how to use websites, how to create a website. They would have me come in and do things on how to make things rank in the search engines. But one of the things over the last several years that I would get brought in to speak on is video. And, because I've done it for many years, and I kind of stumbled into video success with a video I did of my daughter. When Isabel was like 2.5 years old, my grandmother bought her this stupid My Baby Alive doll. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're the ones that, I'm hungry.
Yes.
Please feed me.
No,
I want a drink. And then you have to
do that voice so well. Stop it.
And then after you're done feeding them, you have to take its diaper off and clean it.
No.
And all that junk.
Like you need another one of those to clean around.
Exactly. So, my grandmother bought this, and my wife wanted her to be able to see how much fun and joy it was bringing Isabel. So she made a video, and she said, hey, how can I share this with Nana? And I said, I'll put it up on YouTube, and then we can give her the link and she can watch it there. So I put this video on a channel just by dumb luck. And it happened to be like the toy.
Right.
The toy, air quote, the toy of the year.
Yeah.
That everybody was interested in. And all of a sudden, this video just erupted.
Oh, wow.
And Isabel's video has over 1 million views now.
No way.
Of people watching her play with this stupid little doll. There wasn't anything special about the video. There wasn't any fancy anything done for it. It was just put up. And back in the day, before YouTube changed their formulas, you would get paid. And all of a sudden, I started receiving ad revenue. I made probably $4,000 or $5,000 off this video of my kid sitting there shoving this green pea, whatever it was, down its throat of this doll.
For Nana.
For Nana, yeah. And it was just for Nana, and so I started to really go, what, if we can do this and that makes money, what else can I make and put on YouTube for money? And so I started to create tutorials on tech things, and that was bringing in income. And I was like, okay, well, if this works for these things, how can I bring that into real estate now?
Right.
Because, in 2014, my father suddenly passed away.
Yeah.
And when he did, he said, if ever something ever happens to me, you better get back in real estate. So here I am now getting back in, needing to figure out what am I going to do?
Right.
How am I going to generate business? And I thought, all his people who know me, they're just going to jump right in here and be a part of this. And I'm going to have the same success he had. And I didn't.
Right.
And the first 2.5, 3 years were very lean being back in real estate, and pretty much stank. And I was like, okay, I need to start figuring some stuff out. And, you talk to all the friends and coaches and leaders that are out there of, you need to make 20 calls a day, and you need to do this and you need to do that. And I'm like, I hate the phone.
Right.
I don't want to sit on the phone all day calling people to be hung up on and told, leave me alone. Stop calling me. I'm going to sue you. I'm calling the cops. That's not me. And what I always taught people when traveling the country speaking is to work on doing pull marketing versus push marketing.
Okay.
Create content that's going to pull people into you and want to have them work with you versus just pushing things down your throat. I kind of liken it to if you go to a car dealership and you open the door, if somebody's standing right there when you open the door to say, hey there, how you doing today, Tad? I'm here. Great to have you here at Bob's Ford Chevrolet. We can get you in a car and out of here in no time today. What do you want to do?
Run.
You want to jump back in your car, close the door, and leave.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel a lot of real estate agents run their business. and they're just trying to push down, just sold, just sold, just sold, just sold, just listed, just sold, just sold. Who cares? Other than your mom and your aunt, nobody really. They don't. And so I started to create content and kind of dabble a little bit in it, but at the same time, okay, I need to make money to pay the bills. I've got kids. I've got all this stuff. What am I going to do? Well, so-and-so said I need to make calls. All right, let's try making some calls. All right, made a little bit of success with that. Okay, so what else do we need? Oh, I need a better website. Okay, let me get a better website. Oh, I need this. Okay. And I ran the rat race for a while. And then finally, in about 2019, 2020, right around that range, I started to see some friends of mine that were having extreme success with YouTube. One of my good friends, she's got over 200,000 subscribers now and millions of views on her channel. Yeah, wow. And she's turned hers into a national referral base where she just creates videos now and hands out referrals all around the country. That's all she does. And so I was like, okay, what the heck do I need to do? And I started to shift my mentality, shift the way I was doing it. A lot of people were creating them and once again, pushing that content from YouTube onto other platforms. So they're running over to LinkedIn and here, check out my latest video. They're going to Twitter. Hey, check out this latest video. They're going to Facebook and they're trying to drive all this traffic there instead of letting YouTube, which is owned by Google, a search engine, do its job. And it's like you said, you went to YouTube to figure out how to reverse sear a cowboy steak. I needed to replace a headlight in a car once. I went on YouTube to do it. I needed to install a dishwasher at my house. I went to YouTube to figure out how to do it because I don't want somebody selling me. Just show me the basics and I can handle it. And so I was like, okay, let me take that same mentality, put it into real estate business. And I started to create content. I had to basically go through a 90-day purge in YouTube to let everything kind of reset and clean itself up and started to put stuff out now. And when I'm letting YouTube be the one sharing it out versus me, their audience is a lot larger all around.
Right. And tell me how I can find you on YouTube. Just your name?
You can put my name in. You can search Move to Myrtle Beach. But the thing, and this I would share with anybody who's wanting to get started in a YouTube channel or video or anything like that. If you start sending your friends and family there, you need to make sure they're watching it all the way through. Luckily, my channel now has had a little bit of time to mature and has a little bit of a following that it's not going to affect it as much. But if I was a brand new real estate agent or a brand new business owner, or like I was talking to a friend, he's a retirement planner and he does a radio show. And I'm like, man, you're doing a radio show, which is great. You attract the local audience here in Myrtle Beach, but you can do your retirement planning for people in other parts of the country, right? He's like, heck yeah. So then create a YouTube channel and put that same content out there and attract millions of audience instead of just Myrtle Beach audience.
Right. It's not limited.
Exactly. So, it's just, you got to do that and create the content and let it sit and let YouTube work on your behalf. Because I have the huge followings. I mean, you go on Twitter, I think I've got 14,000 people. My mindset was always, well, I got 14,000 people on Twitter. I need to send it to them because that's going to send tons of views. And it would send like 3. And those people are going in. Most of the time, it's another real estate agent.
Right.
That's going in. They're clicking in. They're watching 3 seconds and leaving. What does that tell YouTube? It says this content must not be that good because the audience, the viewer, did not stay around long enough to watch the whole thing. They only stayed for 5 seconds. Versus if YouTube serves it up to people that are looking and typing in moving to Myrtle Beach, living in Myrtle Beach life, those types of terms, they're then going to start serving it up to them on their homepage. Watch your YouTube channel. Whatever you typed in about reverse searing a ribeye, I bet you dimes to donuts today. If you pull up your YouTube right now, you'd find other stuff about cooking, barbecue, something along those lines. Because YouTube said, hey, Tad Fulford spent all this time yesterday watching all these videos on how to do this. So this must be something of importance to him. So today, let's show this to him. So what it's done now for my business, taking it into my real estate business, I've created all that content about moving to Myrtle Beach, tourist traps of Myrtle Beach, living in Myrtle Beach, pros and cons of living in Myrtle Beach, and all that type of content. And what it's doing now is it's serving that up to the consumer and saying, here's all this information about moving to Myrtle Beach, and you've been looking at it. So they then see all this stuff pops up, which is where the second part that attracts them in is having a really catchy and visual thumbnail.
Okay.
Having that, the two important parts, most important parts to right now on YouTube, it's not the keywords, it's not the length of the video, it's not the fancy B-roll that you put over it and all that stuff. It's the title and the thumbnail. Right. The thumbnail that I did on my video this last week, it was about just the recent law change in Myrtle Beach, or not even Myrtle Beach, but in South Carolina about due diligence.
Right.
It's not a fancy subject. It's not even an exciting subject.
Right.
It's actually pretty boring and dull to most people.
Yeah.
But the way that I created a thumbnail with my eyes like, oh my goodness, what's going on real big. And I took a screenshot of the line in the contract that says buyer may unilaterally cancel. And I put that on the thumbnail with an arrow point to it saying, say what?
Right.
That makes people go, whoa. And then when you put the title on of, a change to, South Carolina contract could make your move to Myrtle Beach majorly different, people are going to click on that and watch it. So those are the things that are important now more than anything.
So you put that video out. What day was that? Friday, you said?
That went out on Friday, yeah.
And so tell me the statistics on that, just so you guys can hear what's really happening. And don't go to Jeremy's YouTube and watch like 30 seconds or something.
Yeah,
dive
please.
in. Don't subscribe if you don't really want to.
Stay around, watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that video went out on Friday around probably noon. It's at all but 4,500 views now.
Okay.
And
Wow.
300 hours of watch time. The views is just a metric number that I don't care about.
Right.
To me, what's more important is that view time.
Yeah.
I want to know that these people are coming in and they're consuming it and they're watching it all the way through, and that they're paying attention to it. When I go and look at my channel now and some of the analytics that I have for it, I'm a little bit of an analytics junkie and numbers junkie.
Right.
But I look at it. So in the last 28 days, I'm at just about 35,000 views in 28 days. But what's more important to me is I'm at 3,200 hours of watch time. If you take that and you divide it out by 24-hour days and 28-day period, it's like 4 hours of every day. I'm in bed. I'm at church.
Right.
I'm at the movies the other night with my wife watching Thor, and 4 hours of my content. So while we were there for 2 hours at the movie, 8 hours of my content was consumed.
That's pretty
while
cool.
we were at the movies.
Was the movie any good? Was Thor any good?
It was good. It was fun.
I heard it was a little bit
it's a little dark.
comic or not. Oh, it's dark.
It's a little, the bad guy, he's kind of the God Butcher, he's called.
Oh,
so
nice.
He looks a little, it's definitely not one you want to take the children to.
Yeah.
Maybe you could take Lawton to it. He's old enough to maybe enjoy it.
Yeah.
But basically I got to put this. He basically takes the children of Asgard hostage, and Thor has to go save them.
Oh,
it's got some real funny parts, but also at the same time, it also has some sad parts. Catherine jokes saying, "Oh, I'm not going to cry." I said, "Yeah, you will.
Yeah, you will."
Here's extra. I always get her extra napkins when we go to the movie because she's going to cry at some. She cried in Frozen, dude.
Oh, well, I mean, you have a very sensitive wife. That's the way to look at it, right? Did you see Top Gun and you saw Jurassic Park?
I saw Top Gun.
Yep.
I had to go with friends, though. Catherine is not a Tom Cruise fan.
I hear that, yeah.
So I had to go with some of my buddies, and it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, and you haven't seen Jurassic Park or Elvis, right?
I'm not a big Jurassic person.
Yeah, I heard it was too long.
I want to see Elvis, though. I've heard it's very good.
Yeah, I've heard that same thing. So what do you do from there, Jeremy? It's interesting how we were talking about this in our class today, how it's a long play. I tell Mandy, my wife, quite frequently that I hear people say, I'm going to get into video. Right. And they get in it for a second and then they go away. But you haven't talked at all about how does this generate customers? How do you convert? What do they do? Comment on your video,
Sure.
or you reach out and call people that have watched it? What do you do?
No, so I'm not calling anybody.
Okay, not pushing out that way.
No.
That's pulling. That's pulling.
No, that's pushing. I want to pull them in.
Oh, you want to pull?
I want to pull them
That's
in.
pushing. Okay.
Yep. So I pull them in every video. There's in the comments section, in the description, all my contact information.
Okay,
Where they can go
good.
fill out a form, comes right into my email, or they can email me directly. I started to get so many leads, I created a whole separate email for it.
Okay, good.
Because I'm getting 2 to 5 a day easily.
Yeah.
But the difference between these leads and a website lead or, type of thing is website leads. People are on your website, realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, Remax. They go and register on 20 different places and they sign up. They don't remember who you are.
Right.
You're the random person that was generated that happened to get the person to you.
Yeah.
The difference is my people are coming, finding my stuff on YouTube, spending hours consuming it.
Right.
They're not just watching 5 minutes of a video and call me.
Right. So it's a relationship, basically.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary at times because I've been called a celebrity more than once.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of awkward the other week. It's kind of a funny story. Catherine was out of town, so I went with one of my friends down to Tidal Creek Brewery, and we're sitting there. And my buddy that I was with, he's a bodybuilder, based a big muscle guy, God's gift to women type of thing.
Right.
And this couple comes in and they see me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's Jeremy Blanton." And so they come in, "You're Jeremy Blanton, right?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." "Oh my gosh, we've never met a celebrity before. The closest we've come is we once saw Tiger Woods, but we were about 15 feet away from him. But wow, we've now met a celebrity." Meanwhile, my friend's sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Could care less about him.
Yeah.
Don't talk to him. Don't even say hello. I said, "Oh, hey, this is my friend George." They don't even say hey.
Right.
And they keep going on talking to me like, "Wow, this is so amazing, so great." And then they finally looked at him and said, "Could you take our picture?" and handed him the phone. And so
That's
he was
odd, isn't it?
he was a little bummed by that, but they did buy me a drink at least.
Yeah.
And they said, "We wish we would have called you when we bought our house." And I said, "Well, it's all good that you didn't." I said, "But here's what you can do. When you're ready to get the next one, give me a call. I'm here." And they're like, "Well, actually, we think we're going to sell ours because we bought one over here in Market Common. We don't care for that area as much.
Right.
We think we want to move and be on the waterway. Can you help us buy a waterway house?" Now, for those who may not know, that's sell my house that we bought for $600,000 here and help us buy one for $1.5 million on the water.
Right.
Yeah, I can help you with that.
Be happy to help.
I can do that.
Yeah.
But that happens more and more. I get more people recognizing me every time. I can't go to Lowe's or Home Depot hardly anymore because who are the people there? People who just bought a house or have a house recently or getting ready to sell a house. And yeah, I always run into people there.
So you need to build a team and have them hand out your cards at Home Depot and Lowe's. It sounds like you can.
No, I don't
You
need
don't need to generate any more business.
No, and that's actually the cool part about it is, these people, when they reach out, I don't have to worry about selling myself.
Right.
I don't have to worry about, are they going to call someone else and work with somebody else? No. Jeremy, we want you. We know you. We like you. We trust you. We have spent hours with you. They come in and they tell me things that I said years ago in a video. And I'm like, I don't even remember saying it, but okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember when I said, it's funny. Like one of the phrases that I used in a couple of videos is I call it the 80-10-10 rule. I say to people, when you're looking for a house, if the house fits 80% of your needs, 10% you don't mind changing, and 10% you can live with, then that's the house for you. And I can't tell you how many times I've met with someone and they go, 80-10-10 rule. Yep, we got it, Jeremy. We know about this, and we're ready to go. Or like during this last year and a half when buyers were struggling to get houses, these people had watched all my content talking about things you need to do to buy in this market. And so I had extreme success getting my offers accepted. I had very, very few that lost out to someone else because I shared with them, here's the tips, here's the things to do, here's the steps to do it. Make sure you have a pre-approval ahead of time with a local lender. Oh yeah, who should we call, Jeremy? We're ready to go do this. Who do we need to do for this? These people have watched and they know and they trust me. And that's the awesome part of it. And so my phone all day long is getting calls, emails, texts, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, and they come, oh yeah, because I'm an open book. So on my Instagram, I may share a picture of me at church playing guitar one week, or, I'm running, like yesterday I ran lights. So I might take a picture of me by the lighting board, do it. And they're like, oh, we looked up your church then too. Because people are moving here. They're restarting their whole life and they need all those parts. And it's funny because they come in and they tell me, well, Jeremy, we've seen, there's other video guys in Myrtle Beach that are doing it, but you just seem to be authentic. I share the good. I share the bad. I share the ugly. Right. And I'm honest with it all. And they say, we love your personality. You seem like you have a lot of fun as well. So we want to hire you. We watch some other guys' videos and, well, that guy just seems too young.
Yeah.
And we watched some other guys' videos, and well, we just felt like we were at the principal's office watching his stuff. So you're the one that definitely we connected with, and we wanted to use you. And, last year, I think I did 72% of my business from YouTube.
Wow.
This year, right now, as of today, I'm at 76% of my business. And last year was a banner year for me.
Right.
And next week, I will pass what I did all of last year.
Wow. Congratulations. That's great. But I hope you guys are hearing that he didn't just do this last week. He said he got very serious about it 2019.
Yep.
Really serious. Did much video before that. If you have any inclination that you want to do something like what Jeremy says, you can't be a part-timer or you can't be just fly by. But I would say if you have the idea that you want to do it and you've got a group of people that want to learn about it, Jeremy would be a great one to teach a class on it, I think, for any group, really. And I think it's fascinating how you've created a business within a business. And YouTube doesn't do any ad pay anymore, right?
Oh, no, they do.
Do they?
I made $300 last month.
Interesting. Yeah.
Not a lot of money, but what it does do is it helps me to pay my video people.
Yeah.
Because I've become so busy. I used to do it all myself.
You just produce now.
And now I have somebody comes in, we sit down, on a Monday afternoon, we'll knock out 2 or 3 videos for the next few weeks. And, the big thing you mentioned, to have any success in this, you have to first commit to doing it for at least 6 months.
Yeah.
That's the first step. And not just doing it, but doing it consistently.
Right.
And not get wrapped up in, well, I only had 57 views on that video. Who cares?
Right.
If it made the phone ring twice and you got 2 deals out of it, I'll take 57 views and 2 commission checks all day long. That's pretty good odds for you.
6 months.
And so you need to do it for 6 months. And the biggest key to success is being consistent once a week, pushing something out. And if you have time to do more, great. Yeah. But don't just go and drop 20 videos in tomorrow and then wait 90 days and go, well, I didn't get any business from it.
Right.
That's not it. You'd be better to put one out every week for 20 weeks.
You do one a week?
I do one a week, and then I try from time to time to mix in some live videos as well, where I will bring on guests to do those.
Right.
And it's interesting. When I do those, I usually do them at night, like 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I'll run from 7 to 8:30, and I'll have 30, 50 people, live people interacting with us on there. And like I did one with Risa, our rental manager once. And I can't tell you how many people reached out wanting to buy rental properties from me that turned into properties that she then rented.
Yeah, nice.
Or people that called her directly and said, hey, I'm moving to the area. I need a place to rent. I brought Terry Branson with We Insure on. And she's still to this day. I may not even sell the people the house, but because they connected to her and her talking about flood insurance at that time, what did we have a lot of problem with? Flooding in the area. So they want somebody who knows it and that seems reputable and respectable. And Terry definitely fits that bill. And so I'll get people who will reach out to me and say, hey, I remember you did a video a while back with some insurance lady, but I can't find it. What was her name? Can you send me her contact? And sure, here you go. Here's Terry's information. Nice. And, it's cool because I've been able to build that live audience now as well to enhance the business even more. Yeah. And it's cool to be able to do those times and bring people in and have kind of question and answer periods with them where I might have a topic for the day, but usually within 10 minutes of the show beginning, we're off the rails of that doing whatever the consumers kind of direct that one. That turns into a fun time.
That's probably what you want to do. And it's interesting that you've leveraged a search engine to generate business for you. Like it's something that people will always go to and you've created a presence there. So you're going to show up. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, it definitely, that's the thing is TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels, all of those short form video stuff, which is very popular right now, is great. And yes, you can build a following, but to do that, you have to be on every day, sometimes multiple times a day, creating that piece of content and putting it out. And a lot of that stuff, is in the consumer's eyes for 24 hours or less and is gone. Right. Snapchat, 24 hours, it's gone. And
literally gone.
And unless you saved it, it will never be seen again. Versus what I'm creating is stuff that I get people, I've done video for probably 14 years now. And some of the older videos that I have, like I did a video about how to clean drain smells out of your drain. using baking soda and vinegar. I mean, it's nothing rocket science,
right?
But I just did a video walking you through it. It's if you watch it, it's so old ago. I had all black hair at the time. I didn't have any gray.
Nice.
That was pre-kids and everything. But that video has I think it's about 150,000 views on it now.
Right.
And I'll get people who will reach out even from those videos today.
Yeah. It's like a catalog of you.
Exactly.
Perpetually Jeremy.
Exactly.
Which is interesting, YouTube. So I appreciate your time, man. We could do probably a whole season of episodes on what you know with social media. It's fascinating to me. You met your wife. I mean, the social media guy that I go to met his wife online years ago, which I love. I love you as part of this company. I love you just as a friend. Tell me, I ask everybody this on the show, if there's one thing that you could recommend to our guests. So the show's called Rise Up in Real Estate, and we're trying to figure out how can we inspire people to rise to the next level in their life or their business. What would you do in your life, in your daily life, that you don't mind sharing to help you rise up every day?
Sure. And, and it comes back to something we spoke about right before the show is, what? I had years where I had to endure through not the greatest of business. And why do we endure through things? For two reasons. We know it's not going to last forever, and we know the end result's greater than what we have to go through. And that's kind of been my mindset on a lot of things in life these days. I lost my father in 2014. It was sudden. He was 63 years old. He was perfectly fine and was gone.
Right. And
I had to get back in real estate and I had to do all that stuff. And it wasn't a fun time, and it sucked, and it was horrible. And, going from running a successful tech company that I had at the time to making $26,000 that next year.
Yeah.
It hurt. It hurt a lot, but I knew that if I would continue to do things, I could make that business go where it needed to be. And, this year alone, I have had multiple days where I made more in one day of business than I did that entire year.
Wow. And it's all about endurance.
Yep.
And you said you endure because you know it won't last forever.
And the end result is greater than what you have to go through.
The end result's greater than what you have to go through. Well, Jeremy, thank you very much for your time today. This is Jeremy Blanton. How can they contact you if they need to? What's the best way? YouTube.
Yeah. Well, either that or you can shoot me an email. The easiest one's probably info@jeremyblanton.com.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeremy. Thank you guys for listening to Rise Up with Real Estate. You have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Well, hey, that's a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for listening to Rise Up in Real Estate. If you liked hanging out with us today, please find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Rise Up in Real Estate. Also, follow us right now on your favorite podcast host to hear more episodes. We really appreciate you spending some of your time with us. And until next time, let's do each other a favor and all help each other rise up.